This debacle about? What's debacling it up today?
All right, so we have talked multiple times in one way or another about how No Man's Sky kind of doesn't live up to the hype.
What was the hype?
Well, the hype, it's a procedurally generated space exploration game.
Yeah.
Some things were explicitly said that they'd be in the game, and some were more implicitly mentioned they'd be in the game that are simply not there. Like in the rare event that you are on the same planet as someone else in the same at the same time,
Yeah.
that happened day one. And the creator, or trying to think, the head of Hello Games was being interviewed by, I think it was Stephen Colbert, talking about the game, and he said that, yeah, you'll see the other player. Happened day one, against all odds, it actually happened.
Yeah.
Couldn't see each other. Things like,
How'd they know they were on the same planet then?
because the planets have the same name.
But
Like they have procedurally generated names,
yeah.
but it's online, so
But how did they both, without being able to see each other, did they have any kind of notification saying that there is a player on this planet right now?
I think so. I didn't hear the details, but I know that was widely reported the first day that it launched. Sean Murray, if chat can be trusted, is the one who said that. There were tons of, like, if you go back and look at the trailers from like 2 years ago, none of them really match what you actually see in the game.
Happens a lot.
There's a subreddit dedicated to all the features with documentation and either trailers or direct quotes from Hello Games saying, yes, this will be in the game, and then it not being there. So, as a result, in the UK, they have what's called the ASA, and I believe it's the UK Advertising Standards Agency. They're actually investigating the whether or not the advertisement for the game is being, deceitful purposefully to generate sales. And it's not just Hello Games that they're going after. It's also Steam.
Mm.
Because, of course, Steam has a product description for all their games. And if something's inaccurate or not showing on there,
Is there any kind of fine that they have to pay in that situation?
in this case, it doesn't look like it. Here's what the ASA statement said. They are looking for misleading, harmful, or offensive advertisements, sales, promotions, and direct marketing. If we judge an ad to be in breach of the UK advertising codes, it must be withdrawn or amended, and the advertiser must not use the approach again.
So basically withdraw all
It's
of
like a
your
warning.
UK advertisement.
Yeah, it's basically saying it's a warning. I imagine they will probably be fined if they don't change it.
Well, it's smart for them to go after Steam. It's huge.
Yeah, a lot bigger than Hello Games startup.
Yeah.
indie game studio. They further said, we will ensure the advertisers are made aware of any points relating to other marketing material under their control, such as the Hello Games YouTube channel and website. The outcomes of ASA investigations are cross-applicable to other marketing making the same claims, so any decision reached in relation to the Steam page would apply to other advertising for No Man's Sky where the same claims appear. So as long as they just target that, the Steam advertising, then that covers
Everything else.
everything.
Yeah.
And this is, it's really sad because I know a lot of people were looking forward to this game.
Yeah.
And it seems like it's fun. It can be fun if you are into more calm
Casual, kind of just hanging out.
Casually, I would
Yeah.
say casually paced games, which is what this seems to be. Um, and it's apparently very calming, but people were kind of expecting like a completely open. You can't even say open world. You have to say like open galaxy
Yeah.
uh, span first person shooter, and it's not.
And that feels very familiar. I was very much let down with the end result of Spore. Spore
Mm-hmm.
was supposed to be very expansive. You're supposed to be able to go, like from star system to star system, basically go out throughout an entire galaxy of planets. And it felt very contained by the end of it, and you couldn't just freely fly around. And even when you're on the planets themselves, you couldn't get out. You couldn't do anything. You just fly around with like a little ship, and everything that was randomly generated, like how these games are, they quickly repeat themselves, and you find that
Yeah.
within this algorithm you've really only got like 10 sets of sky colors, and you've only got like four different biomes,
We literally have tens of combinations.
yes, we've got tens of them. And and that must be difficult. Now if you're trying to make like an entire galaxy worth of possibilities, and people are complaining about planets repeating themselves, within only like 10 planets. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Um, and I
That's
remember
not fair.
I played. You ever heard of Dark Cloud for PS2?
Huh. Never played that one.
It was a launch title made by Level 5. They make Ni no Kuni. Have you heard of that for PS3? Studio Ghibli, right?
Yeah.
It's basically a Studio Ghibli looking game.
That's cool.
Like they worked with Studio Ghibli.
That's cool. That sounds like it's worth a play.
Yeah. Um, and I also enjoy their White Knight Chronicle games for PS3. They did a Dragon Quest game too.
Did you know Studio Ghibli's first animation movie that they made before they were Studio Ghibli?
No.
The Last Unicorn. The same team that made Last
Oh my
Unicorn, but
goodness.
a lot of people that worked on that started Studio Ghibli after that.
I grew up watching that.
That was a good, yeah, that was such a trippy movie. Like
Very trippy.
looking back, like thinking of nostalgic, it's like, oh man, I remember that movie. That's such a good movie, man.
I don't
And
know
then
what the movie wanted to do.
you rewatch it and you're just like, what is this?
Yeah.
As a kid, in a kid's eyes, you know, you see it completely different and it's magical. It doesn't
Doesn't
need a
need to
plot,
it
you
doesn't need
know.
to hold together
Yeah, it doesn't
either.
need to hold together, and it just makes sense to you on like this weird level. And as an adult, you're just like, what hallucinogenic drug do you need to take to understand where they're going with this?
Yeah.
It's just a very weird movie that I don't get.
You can
So,
there's like jarring transitions between like narrative
yes,
tones, and
but it's lovely. It's a beautiful
it's a
movie.
beautiful mess of a movie. It
Yes,
is.
it
Uh,
is.
um so anyway, um
Last Unicorn, check that
so
off the
Dark
list.
Cloud,
Yeah.
it had procedurally generated dungeons,
Okay.
which it kind of did give you a bit of a replay value to go back and like
Yeah.
see how, but you would see the same stuff over and over again. It was very bland and generic looking, and that's what I've
And when you
that's
get low enough, it's just a number grinding game where things just
yeah.
get higher stats and you need more gold. And
Yeah, but you're not really going to see any new content. And I know now the procedural generation in No Man's Sky is far and beyond what dungeon crawlers have done in the
and you've
past
got
with it.
downloadable content now too, so they can always add on to it and expand, the galaxy. So
Well, and
maybe fix some things that
the
they.
the biggest problem with this game is that Hello Games hasn't been talking about their game for like over a month. Like all the complaints, when the complaints really started pouring in, they just stopped talking. They just stopped communicating. They didn't say, hey guys, we know this feature is missing. We couldn't get it out to you on launch. We are working on it. It's a to be determined date at this point. Give them something. You can't just release a game, have all these features missing that you stated were going to be in it.
That's about the time the girl breaks up with you, you know?
Yeah,
Like that doesn't work in a relationship.
right. And consumer and business is a relationship.
Yeah,
And if you don't talk to your consumers, you lose them.
your retention rate goes down.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
know business.
Yeah, we Busines.
Okay, doke.
Busyness.
But yeah, moral of the story is
Yeah.
don't lie about your game. Accurately represent what it's going to do, because I feel like if they had just talked about the stuff that was going to be it instead of being like, oh, it's going to be able to like,
Yeah.
procedurally generate your own babies, just
We can take this farther, Steven. All right. Now, your movie, okay? Tell us what the movie's gonna be. Like every single preview for a movie now, it shows you like it's like I have no idea what this is about. It's a letdown, you know?
mhm.
Or just anything nowadays. It feels like you watch a commercial or anything on TV on YouTube, and the commercials themselves, they just I have no idea what they're marketing for anymore. Like,
Yeah.
it's just all of a sudden an action hero just comes and just flamethrower, and it's just like snap into Slim Jim. It's like I don't understand.
And then the next thing you or at the very end of the ad, it says something like
Yeah,
15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
yeah.
And it's
Brought to you
just
by
like,
Trump.
wait,
Trump approved.
what? It's
Trump
like,
approved.
but yeah,
Yeah.
just accurately, when it comes to gaming, like gamers just they want to know what'll be in the game.
Mhm.
Don't promise them the moon and give them a pebble. Like say, hey, I've got this really cool pebble.
But what if they had that content and everything was good to go and greenlit, and then all of a sudden they're like, "Oh man, we got to release this in a month, and this is totally broken, and we can't have this in."
You
And then
release it.
the previous advertisements where you said that this was because they were being honest at
Hmm.
that time, and this is like one of those what ifs, most likely they were like, "I told them this was going to be in here." People,
Yeah.
humans.
If you have every intention of getting the feature to work, then release it. And with our modern model, we can go ahead and just say, hey, we're going to have that in a later patch for you. But
Yeah.
they're not saying anything. And that's the problem.
That's when you break up with them.
Dump them.
Can't be living that silent treatment.
Can't even be friends anymore.
Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves. All right.